The purpose of this class is to explain as briefly as possible from a legal perspective in Judaism, of course, taking into account the mystical dimension of it, but mainly focusing on the legal perspective of what's in for non-Jews in the Jewish holidays. Okay, we're coming close to Rosh Hashana, the beginning of the year, which is a very special holiday, etc. And that gives the beginning of the all festivities of the month of Tishrei, the 7th month. Lots of things, lots of energies, lots of ideas. Okay. What's in there for non-Jews? Now, point number one. Our sages say that there is a prohibition for non-Jews to invent, to make up a new religion. That's forbidden. What does it mean, a new religion? It means doing observances that are not written in the Torah, in the written Torah, in the oral Torah, etc. I'm not explaining all the details of everything because it's impossible. It would be a huge, infinite video. So the point is that point number one, you cannot invent and make up a new religion. A certain observance that was in Judaism that was not done, given by God, etc. for non-Jews, a non-Jew cannot take it for himself or for herself. It's the same thing, men and women. That's point number one. Point number two, there are certain commandments that Torah gives to the Jews, 613 commandments. Within those 613 commandments, there are Yamim Tovim, holidays, festivities. And each holiday has basically two ideas. Idea number one is the holiday itself. Like what's common in all the holidays. We don't make certain works. We behave in a certain way. And that's common again to all holidays. And then you have the holiday itself. Which holiday is different than the other one? What are the Jewish holidays? Let's start from the beginning. The 15th of Nisan is Pesach. That's the first holiday, coming out of Egypt. Then you have the 6th of Sivan is Shavuot, the beginning of the Torah. Then you have, in the beginning of the month of Tishrei, the 1st of Tishrei, Rosh Hashana, the beginning of the Jewish year. Then you have Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, in the 10th of Tishrei. Then you have Sukkot. Sukkot, in the 15th of Tishrei, it remembered that God gave us clouds of glory when we traveled through the desert after going out of Egypt before going into the land of Canaan to transform it into the land of Israel. Then you have Shmini Atzeret. And then you have other holidays, other special moments in the year. But these are the holidays that actually are registered in the text of the scriptures. These holidays, basically speaking, have nothing to do with non-Jews. These are commandments given by God to Jews. Now, there are certain messages and ideas that non-Jews can actually extract and live by them that we can learn from the holidays. Yes, of course, there are many, many things as we're going to talk later. But this is the general idea of the observance of the holidays is not for non-Jews. What do I mean the observance of the holidays? Again, not doing certain jobs and doing certain things that our sages instituted for us, like for instance doing kiddush, sanctifying the day with wine, with a blessing, etc. That's for Jews. That's not for non-Jews. I know it might sound a little bit hard, but we have to understand exactly what is what and where does it go in the, so to speak, the map of Judaism. That's point number one. Why is it like that? Because a holiday represents a very special bond, link between God and the Jewish people. Just as Shabbat, the seventh day, is an ois, is a signal of the bond between God and the Jewish people, of a covenant between God and the Jewish people, Yomim Tovim, holidays, are exactly the same thing. So it doesn't make any sense for a non-Jew to say, okay, let's celebrate something that is not mine. It doesn't talk to me. It has nothing to do with you. Now, how does the Jewish calendar actually work? We are accustomed to understand time like a line that grows and grows and grows, etc., etc. Judaism looks at time a little bit different. Judaism looks at time like a spiral. And in the spiral, you actually reach in every single ring of the spiral exactly the same point as the previous ring, but in a different ring, so to speak. The rings are the years. Every single year, the same energies and the same ideas come back and forth, and once and again, every single year, but in a different year. So when we celebrate actually Pesach, we're actually living the energy of the original Pesach, but in a different year. And the Torah gives us a framework to actually tap into those energies and live them and actually relive them as if it was really right now, not thousands of years ago. But it's important to understand that those energies and the framework of commandments given to us to live those energies and to understand and to actually enjoy and feel those energies, those commandments were given to Jews, even if a non-Jew. Thus, the things, the actions that the Torah says we're supposed to be doing in a certain holiday, that does not mean that they tap to that energy. Definitely not. And this is not something that I'm saying. This is something that is written down in the text. Like it or not, I know it would be much better for me to say, yes, let's go and tap to it, all the energies of the Kabbalah and the mystical things. Yes, but I would be selling something that is not true. And at least myself, I try to be true. So that's the other next point, so to speak. Even if a person actually fulfills those actions that by Jews and for Jews were supposed to be given to tap into certain energies, the non-Jews do not tap those energies. You can understand the teachings of the holiday, but don't touch the energies. In this thing, there's a difference between two basic and very important ideas in Judaism. One is a mitzvah. A mitzvah means a commandment. God told you to do this, and God told you not to do that, etc. For Jews, 613. For non-Jews, 7 commandments and all the ramifications that actually come with them. Point number one. Point number two, customs. What does a custom mean? There are 2 ways to understand a custom. Customs are way number one. Customs are something that with time, there are certain customs that actually the prophets gave us, certain customs that we don't know exactly when they started, but there are accepted customs within Judaism that actually are in the book of law, the Shulchan Aruch, the code of law of Judaism. There are certain customs, again, that just enhance the experience of the holiday. Do they make the holiday? The answer is no. But they enhance, they give you like a framework, again, not given by God. God gave us commandments, but there are certain customs that, again, we don't know exactly where they came from, but they help you live the time in a better way. They give you more happiness into actually fulfilling the different observances of the holiday. Living the holiday in a different way. That's one way of understanding customs. But there's another way. Another way of understanding customs is we, so to speak, came up with something that helps us tap into deeper energies. The ideas that God gave us and the ideas that through the written Torah and through the oral Torah, God gave us in the Talmud, in the writings of the sages, etc., etc., God gave us a certain framework that has a shape, a way of coming from above, below. And God said to take this, do this in the specific time of the year, and you will tap into certain energy. However, we want more. We want to tap into the essence, so to speak, of God. So we came up with a certain idea that represents something that helps us tap into a deeper energy. In other words, God connects to us, so to speak, and we say we want more. We want a deeper connection. That's why we have certain customs. What's the difference between the two ideas of understanding customs? If we're going to say that the customs are man-made, so to speak, just to enhance the experience of the holiday, Bnei Noach, non-Jews, could actually do these customs. Because they can also enhance their awareness of a certain time, of a certain energy, even though they cannot tap into it. But if you're going to say that the customs are actually a way to tap into deeper energies, into deeper bond with God, it doesn't make any sense for non-Jews, because even if they do it, they're not going to tap into those energies. According to this, let's go a little bit deeper into Rosh Hashana. What's Rosh Hashana? What's the beginning of the Jewish year? Rosh Hashana actually celebrates the creation of the first man. It's not the first day of the creation, actually. No. is the day of the creation of the first man. And in that particular time, two things happen. Point number one, it's a very happy day. It's just like your birthday, whatever, the birthday of humankind, where actually God said, I want a partner, because he wants, whatever, go ask him why. I want a partner in creation, and I want you're my partner, to actually reveal my presence in this world that I created. That's very nice. So it's a happy day. On the other hand, Rosh Hashana is actually the anniversary of the first sin in humankind. Man ate from something he was not supposed to be eating, etc., etc. I'm not going to go into the details, but the point is, it's a very sad day. It's a day that man realized, hey, I have a very strong energy within me. My potential is so big that I can make the whole world elevate itself, or I can really bring down the whole world. That's why our sages say that each single person should look at himself as the whole world depends on me. Just as the first man, the whole world depended on him. And he actually sinned. He didn't do what he was supposed to be doing. So that's the two things of Rosh Hashana. On one hand, it's a very happy day. It's a day that God says, I want you in my world. And on the other hand, it's a day of judgment. God judged the first man and he kicked him out of the Gan Eden, of the paradise, whatever that means. Those are the two things in Rosh Hashana. And again, the Torah, Judaism, gives us a framework to live that day and to understand, to tap into those two energies through commandments. For instance, blowing a shofar. You take a horn of a ram and you blow on it in a specific way, etc., which doesn't matter right now, the details. The point is that it's a mitzvah, it's a commandment. Is this commandment applicable to Bnei Noach, to non-Jews? The answer is no. Does it make sense that a non-Jew blows the shofar? If you want to blow horns, go blow horns. What's the problem? You can blow a trumpet. Maybe it sounds better. But it does not tap to any spiritual energy. Now, Bnei Noach, a non-Jew, could hear a Jew blowing the shofar and can actually feel something, and that's fine. You want to hear the shofar? Go hear it. It's good. It's nice. It actually represents one of the ways of declaring God as a king, which is the main subject of Rosh Hashana. But if you blow it, if a non-Jew blows it, it doesn't produce anything, and it doesn't mean anything. But you can hear it. It's important to understand the difference. Let's move on. There are customs on Rosh Hashana. What are the customs of Rosh Hashana? To recite psalms, Tehillim. So you can do it. A non-Jew can do that. No problem. To actually contemplate, what did I do last year? You can do that. Fine. What am I going to do next year? How am I going to live my connection to God next year? You can do that. It's proper. It's good. I'm going to accept God as my king. And I'm going to declare through the whole world, God is the king. That's fine. You can do that. And you can hear the shofar. And there are customs. Some people eat apple with honey. And that custom, again, if you take it just as an enhancement of the holiday, go eat. You want to eat? Go eat. Do I have to sanctify the day through wine and recite a blessing? No, it doesn't make any sense. You could recite the blessing for the apple, of course, for the honey, whatever, but not in a Jewish way. And of course, you cannot make up new customs. We explained before, don't make up a new religion, please. There's a Judaism given by God in Mount Sinai through Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, etc., and he clearly explains to us what we're supposed to be doing and what that thing that we're supposed to be doing means. And if you have doubts, ask your rabbi. That's what they are for. But don't buy, quote unquote, things that are not true. Don't buy rabbis talking to you about Kabbalah of Rosh Hashana for non-Jews when it doesn't really apply. Doesn't make any sense. So, Rosh Hashana is the day of judgment. And the Talmud says, our sages say clearly, every single human being passes through in front of God and is being judged by what he did last year, by what he actually commits to do next year, etc. That's the spirit, so to speak, of Rosh Hashana, of accepting God as a king, even if I did not do the proper things last year. Okay? make a strong resolution that next year is going to be better. And for sure, no doubt, God is going to inscribe you in the books of life, in the books of sustenance, in the books of healthiness, and all the good things are going to be for us and for you and for every single person with the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days.